Hello everyone, welcome back to the Brad's Bourbon Reviews YouTube channel. I'm Brad.
I'm Holly.
And today, no, we're not reviewing E.H. Taylor, but we are going to drink it because, yeah, not right this second, but we are going to drink it because we got this on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. And one of our first, I think it was our first or second video that we put up talking about bourbon was a video about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. And since then we've gotten a lot of questions about advice for planning your own Kentucky Bourbon Trail trip. Now, we are by no means experts.
We've been once.
We've been once. We're going back in March, but we do have some tips that we can pass along. I think that would be helpful for people. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and start in. First one comes from David Teller 7681. He said, "Hi, enjoyed your video. A couple of questions about the Bourbon Trail." Now, I'm just going to answer them one at a time as he brings up the questions. Do most distilleries offer bottles in the gift shop? Yes. All of them do, pretty much. Even Wild Turkey, who has like a temporary gift shop. Now, here's the thing. Unless you're going for something like an E.H. Taylor that is hard to find here. Like, we've only seen it twice in Florida, ever, since in the 7 years I've lived here.
Not at retail.
Not at retail. I saw it for $129 and $199. At retail, I think it was 45 bucks, 65, 45? 45 bucks. I think Bland's was 50.
Bland's was like 62.
62. So, well below what we saw. And one of the places we saw it was at a Target, which is nuts. And it was sold $129 at Target. So unless you're going for something like this that you can't really get anywhere else. And
it sells out within the first hour or two of the day.
Yeah, so something like E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, even to some degree Buffalo Trace. I mean, like, it's we haven't seen it here in months. So unless you're going for something like that, I would probably not go to the distillery specifically to look for bottles, because like Wild Turkey didn't have any of the Master's Keep. They had just their base products.
That's another point to bring up. Just when we were there in November, they
yes, this is all personal experience, right? Four Roses does stuff like weekly, they said, where they'll do some sort of single barrel pick and release it. But on the day we were there, they didn't have anything. We actually went twice to Four Roses, and neither day they had
truly
it.
luck of the draw and when they feel like putting it out.
Now, the best thing I can offer you is to join Facebook groups. A lot of Facebook groups will have people who know more about the distilleries themselves than we do and can offer information. One thing I would also suggest is buffalotracedistillery.com. On the right hand side of the homepage will be like a little thing you can click, and it will show you gift shop availability for that day. Every morning around anywhere between an hour and opening of the gift shop, they will announce what they are going to put on the shelves that day. We got so stupid lucky where we had different stuff every day. We had a day where we got Blanton's, a day where we got E.H. Taylor, a day where Eagle Rare was an option, but we didn't go there that day. When Weller was an option, we got very, very lucky. And we actually had Sazerac drop as a bonus thing where you could get it once.
Just as a normal item, you could buy it once a day.
Am I misremembering that, or is that right?
No, Sazerac is now, it's not the one every 90 days now. Okay. Sazerac, you can go and buy it.
Yeah. Okay.
As of when we were there.
That's right. Yeah, things could have changed, but when we were there, that was the case. So they're a good resource to just go straight to the website and see what they have that day. The thing that does suck is they don't update it at the same time every day. So some days you're waiting. Like there was one day we were in the gift shop and saw it before it was released on the website. So it is good as an option, but I wouldn't rely on that ahead of time to know.
For places like Heaven Hill in particular, they said join their Facebook page, so their official Facebook page. They'll announce when they were going to do Old Fits a couple weeks ago, and they didn't end up.
They had a flood or something at the distillery.
But they'll post and tell you the day that they're going to drop that.
Yeah.
So if you want to plan your trip around it.
And my other advice to that point would be get there early. Just go to sleep early the night before, wake up early, get there. That's easy for us to do. We live in Orlando, we're Disney people, so we're used to having to get up and doing the haul of all that stuff. So that's another piece of advice. Just get there as early as you possibly can. Anything else on the bottles in the gift shops? Don't expect to have your hair blown back. That's one thing I would say. I was expecting some of the bigger distilleries to have some more rare stuff. That just wasn't the case. Now, it could have been because we were right before allocated season dropped. But I know Buffalo Trace, like, they're not going to release Pappy Van Winkle. They're not going to release any Weller stuff other than Special Reserve. That's just not going to happen. But some of the other stuff like Heaven Hill will do the old Fitzgerald bottom bomb.
Elijah Craig.
The toasted barrel. So again, get there early. Next question here. To be honest, one of my main reasons for going would be to see what you can get there. Second, after the second or third tour, does the seeing the process get old?
Yes.
Thanks and happy hunting. Yes, it does. I know I'm a Buffalo Trace fanboy. It's just what it is. But that's one of the things that Buffalo Trace does very, very well. Is they offer a variety of tours, standard, and they don't cost anything. All their tours include a tasting, and they're all free, which is crazy. But they offer different tours. Like they have the.
We did the Taylor tour.
We did the Taylor tour when we were there. They have the Trace tour, which is like just how they make their bourbon. They have something that I want to do called the Expansion tour, where you get to see what they're building for the future, which is really cool for somebody like me. They also do the Botanical Gardens tour.
Is it really?
Yes.
Interesting.
They do the
But
Botanical
you don't want
Gardens
to see
tour.
anything to do with the distillery, do the gardens.
It includes a tasting, so if it's there, do it. Why not? The grounds are so beautiful at Buffalo Trace.
But if you do want to see different distilleries, we did something cool, which we enjoyed. We did Bullet, which is one of the few modern distilleries, so it was very different from, where did we do the standard tour? Was that Woodford?
We did Woodford. We did, what was the one on the mountain? Maker's Mark. That's right. Yeah. I couldn't think of the name of it. That was. We're so gonna do a podcast about this.
Off-roading, terrifying mountain hill, one lane, you don't know who's coming and going. Driving, go to Maker's
That
Mark.
was terrifying.
Beautiful distillery. That one was unique.
One of the most beautiful
You got
distilleries.
to see the dipping process.
Yeah.
The
You can do that too.
labels. Woodford was just simple and to the point, which was nice too. But Bullet, definitely recommend something modern. It's a quick 45-minute tour maybe? Maybe
like
an hour.
that.
You get a tasting with that one too.
Yeah. I would pick your favorite distillery if you're going to do the tours. Pick your favorite one that you love and go see how they make their bourbon. Because when you go to all the other ones, they all tell you the same stuff. Kentucky's imported because of the limestone and water.
Mm-hmm.
This is what goes into making your bourbon. It's
char
the
our
51% char or 51% corn. This is the char on our barrels. It's all the same after a while. But that's why Buffalo Trace is one of the coolest ones, because they offer so many different types of distilleries. I'm sorry, types of tours. How many types of tours?
And a lot of
types
them,
of tours.
a lot of them now too, which I'd like to do when we go back to maybe do on that Lux Row. I know you're shocked by that recommendation, but a lot of them are doing like cocktail classes or like the best use of their bourbons, which I think is a neat idea. And
I think so too.
Different.
I think so too. Another one that we haven't done this one yet, but this distillery looks like it is going to be really cool when we do get to go. Old Forester. They offer a bunch of different types of experiences you can do there too. So I wouldn't go and just do the behind the scenes tour or whatever, because you're going to go, at the end of it, you're going to be reciting it like 51% corn.
Yep.
It's got to be charred in a new white American oak charred barrel.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely kind of don't do the same tour over and over again, because it will get boring very quickly. Happy hunting. Perfect. And then Dar948 or B8 said, please do another video discussing the Bourbon Trail. I'm planning a 10 to 12 day camping trip this fall.
Ooh.
And would love tips and recommendations. Love the content. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That sounds great. Go when it's not 12 degrees outside. It was so cold, man. We live in Orlando. I've said that 1,000 times on these videos, but just if you're first time watching this, we live in Orlando, so we're used to very, very warm weather. It was very, very cold in Kentucky, and it was hard to get
snow.
through.
That was exciting.
Yeah, it snowed one day. We had car trouble one day in the snow. That was fun. Our car battery wasn't used to the cold. That was nice. The brand new car. But so any recommendations?
Set a daily bourbon budget.
Yes.
Because you will want to go crazy. I mean, we were going to distilleries and then hitting up liquor barns and being like, this and this and this.
Yeah, and
we
spent way more than we had.
And then we got home to the hotel every night and we're like, oh my God, we bought all of it.
Yes.
So
I remember when we realized how much we bought, because we bought 2 of everything we could at Buffalo Trace, and that was not cheap. But I would set a...
Cheaper than we could find here, though.
100%. I mean, like, we got everything we got at Buffalo Trace for what 1 bottle of Blanton's costs here. So,
go to Kroger.
yes, I was gonna say check out the big chain liquor stores, because they're... So the big chain stuff here for us doesn't really have anything of note. They have the Jim Beam, the wood, like all of the basic normal stuff they have. But up in Kentucky, they have stuff that we don't get because they have all these local distilleries there that kind of push stuff around.
Wine.
Yeah, the Total Wine was insane.
Yeah.
Grab a bottle of Early Times. I don't know where you live, we don't get it here, grab a bottle of that. You're gonna love it. It's some of the best, especially for the money.
Forget the look of this bottle.
No, it's insane. It's some of the best bourbon, especially for the money. It's so incredibly good. Bottled and bond, you get a liter up for like $23 in Kentucky. Can't beat it. What other recommendations would I have?
Plan out your days and try to do. So I don't know if the map's online. We got it when we got up there, but they have a Bourbon Trail map, and it does a nice job. There's got to be a way to Google that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of kind of clustering and showing where everything is. So you could be like, all right, this day I'm gonna do Jim Beam in Bardstown because they're super close.
Yeah.
And
there's basically like two sides to the Bourbon Trail. There's the
Louisville
side and the
Lexington
side. We did the Lexington side. So I would maybe split up 2 or 3 days to do that stuff. It also kind of just depends. Do you just want to go see the distillery? Do you want to grab a drink there?
Are you just shopping?
I would also say maybe don't get too into the merchandise stuff unless that's just like your thing. Because I could see myself very easily getting trapped and getting a Glencairn from every place we went, and she had to stop me from that because
a lot of the Glencairns, not a knock on the distilleries, but they look like the ones you get at the gift pack around the holidays.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Aside from Heaven Hill said like the distillery and where it was.
I actually have it right here.
So we actually got. I am very into glasses, so are you. But we got this really cool Kentucky Derby, if you can see it, glass at 4 Roses. So they had some cool, unique stuff like that. A lot of t-shirts if you want those from each distillery. Go to lunch at
Bardstown.
Yes.
Bardstown Distillery. I'm not a fan of their bourbon and stuff.
Food.
The food was incredible. It's the best
Yes.
fried chicken I've ever had. I'm from the South. I grew up in the South. Best fried
Their
chicken I've ever had, hands
charcuterie
down.
board. What did I have? The
That was
burger.
insane. Yeah, the burger was great. The place is fantastic.
Fantastic.
The only place I would say don't go would be Wild Turkey. And it's not because I don't like Wild Turkey, because I do. I was just drinking Wild Turkey 101 earlier today. There's just nothing there that is worth going out to. It's kind of out of the way.
Very off the beat.
So unless you're already by it, like if you're already at 4 Roses and you kind of want to swing by, fine, I guess. But there's just nothing unique about it there. They're redoing their visitor experience. So they have like a very temporary setup right now.
Very small.
And it's like one thing I was kind of surprised by were how expensive the drinks were.
Yeah, we were gonna taste something that you wanted to taste at Wild Turkey, and it was like $18 for
a 1 ounce.
1 ounce, and it was nothing. It's something that's a $60 bottle.
Was it the rare breed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like Master's Keep.
You make it across the street,
right.
guy. 18. I mean, I know they have to do it that way. There's like laws and stuff, but like it was just excessive.
Yeah.
I ended up just waiting and buying a bottle of rare breed because I hadn't had it up to that point. I had, for some reason, I had Kentucky Spirit, but I didn't have rare breed. I don't know. Go figure that one out. But yeah, I think that would probably be my tips: is just budget. That's like a big piece of it. Also, I wouldn't go to Giuseppe's.
Yes. A local spot.
That place is fantastic.
Not so far off the beaten path. Parking's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a hole in the wall, but oh my gosh.
It's not a hole in the wall when you walk in.
Yes.
When you walk in, it's one of the most beautiful
and their
restaurants.
bourbon selection too.
Insane. That's where I tried Campfire.
Yeah.
It was $10 for a 2 ounce pour.
You were gonna try Stag. That was $10 too, but they were out
Stag
of
was
it,
$10. They had none of it left. The 1 ounce pour was, I'm not kidding, this much of a Glencairn glass. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So, another piece of advice I would say would be like, don't be afraid to go to local places because
and try the bourbon there.
And a lot of these places, because a lot of these like small bars will have just store picks. You can buy a bottle of it if you love it. And it like, what was that one place we went to before we went to Giuseppe's? I forget the name of the bar. There was just some bar that we stumbled upon next to a liquor store at a Kroger, and she's like, go around the corner, they have this like, this bar had, and we walked in and they had the E.H. Taylor Bigfoot beer. There was like a pick of that. They had a 1792 store pick of like single barrel, or I can't remember, single barrel or cask strength, one of the two. But a lot of these local places, there's just so much bourbon and drinking in Kentucky.
The pizza place.
Pizza places. Oh, that's where I had Pappy. Oh,
if you go to James E. Pepper Distillery.
Yes.
It's in like this new little.
But also don't go to James
area.
E. Pepper Distillery.
Well, if you go there, or at least look that up to find the new shopping area. There's a really cool brewery there. I'm a beer person, more so than bourbon. I know that hurts you when I say that, but I love
Every
beer.
single day.
So we also tried some breweries, which was fun. So at the end of the shopping center is Goodfellas Pizzeria, and their book of bourbon was like a Cheesecake Factory menu. And not expensive. You tried Pappy for $30. And it was way more again than a 2-ounce pour.
Yeah, here, the only place that has it here is a place called Polite Pig, Disney Springs, and they want $200 for an ounce.
1 ounce.
So I had I think it was $30 for 2 ounces of it, and it's my favorite bourbon I've ever had. Kind of cliche, but there's a reason people love it. It's delicious. It was the 10-year. Not technically a Pappy, I understand. It's very old grip Van Winkle 10, but incredible.
If you want a bar at a distillery to hang out to,
yeah.
Four Roses is beautiful. And then they were very expensive. You think of how inexpensive regular Four Roses is.
Yeah.
And then
well, the reason they have to do it, I heard that, from what I can understand, there are some laws in the books that makes it so where the distillery can't charge less than like what a retail store would pay. But I think it's two things, right? It's one, to take business away from local stores, because you're selling yourself to a distributor, so you kind of shoot your own self in the foot. And then also, think about it this way. If you're a company that sells a product and you can sell it for a third of that, and people don't have access to that cheap of a price all the time, they see it out. They're not going to want to buy something that 3 times the cost because they bought it somewhere else for a lot less. So I get it, but it's kind of annoying. But for whatever reason, Buffalo Trace was my favorite distillery. I had so much fun.
The best bar / lounge though was Heaven Hill by far.
Yeah, I wish Buffalo Trace had a bar. They don't have a bar. Heaven Hill was the best. That's, as far as the distillery experience goes, they probably are the best.
No food. None of them really have food except Bardstown.
Bardstown had food.
So if you're planning on drinking, bring snacks.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of food or restaurants out by the distilleries either.
Yeah, it's a lot of fast food. There's a lot of Taco Bells in Kentucky. Don't know why, but they're like all over the place.
Yeah.
But do you have any other just like tips and recommendations?
Just plan.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Plan.
I know that sounds not necessary to say, but there was a lot of of us Googling how far is this to this and this to this, so we're not going from A to Z and then A to C.
Yeah, we actually sat down and we go, okay, where are all the distilleries we're going to? What day are we going to be there? Because we actually stayed in 2 different hotels the night we got there, because we didn't want to waste the night in our nice hotel, so we got like a lesser. It wasn't that bad. It was a great hotel. Actually, I'd stay there again any day of the week. But we had a really nice hotel on the full side of the trip. So we actually were like, okay, so we're gonna be on this side of town. In what order do we hit the distilleries so we can not have to go from here to there to there to here and kind of crisscross? So that's a really good point. Yes. Plan it out and make sure you're not wasting time, money, gas, all that stuff. Gas is not cheap, and it's just kind of help you streamline your trip a little bit. That's a good one. That's a good one. I can't think of anything else. Yeah. I'm sure once we stop recording, I'm gonna go, oh, duh. So if you have any more questions, please, if you have anything specific, comment down below. We'll get to it in another video. Let's see. This comes from Zach's World 683. Just subscribed. Great video. Thank you. Nice to see people get excited about small bottles like I do, instead of seeing people try bottles that are unobtainable for most normal people. Yeah.
Including us.
Including us. The wife and I are headed to the Kentucky in April, close to when we'll be there, to hit the trail for the first time, and I'm pumped. I never see most Buffalo Trace products in my area and can't wait to hit the distillery and get a Taylor / Weller. Any pointers for a first timer going to the Bourbon Trail? We'll be there for 3 full days, and I want to try to hit as many distilleries and liquor stores to score some bottles to bring home that I can't get in Maryland. My first advice would be get J.W. Dant.
No. Maybe that's why I'm in Maryland. Also, 3 days is perfect because that's how long we were there, and that was more than enough.
There's a Facebook group that is like, I think it's called like What is Buffalo Trace Getting Tomorrow or something. They have like a predictor that they use like based on percentages and stuff. It's not always accurate. But what I would say, the week leading up to your trip, track what Buffalo Trace on their website releases every day. That way you can kind of get a pattern, because it's not really a pattern. Sometimes they'll repeat, but they very, very, very rarely repeat bottles day after day. So like very rarely we see Blanton's, E.H. Taylor. Usually they'll do like Weller, E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare, and then maybe Weller again. So there's not usually back-to-back days of the same stuff. So that's my big tip to you. track that stuff on BuffaloTraceDistillery.com, because they're gonna have all that stuff, and you can just track it for a week. I followed it for 3 weeks.
Trying to find a pattern, and there's no pattern.
I was like,
save yourself the work.
I was like, the meme of the dude from with all the strings. That was me. I'm like, on Wednesdays they release. No. Just cross your fingers. Hope you get lucky. We got very, very lucky. We got everything we wanted, everything we came for. We got multiples of. So.
But I say 3 days is good too, because chances are they're not going to repeat something in those 3 days.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's the 3 items you want.
Also, I would say maybe kind of commit to one distillery each day.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you like Buffalo Trace stuff, or you at least want to try some Buffalo Trace stuff. You're gonna have to sacrifice other distilleries. You're gonna have to kind of pick which one you want to do, because only
Not necessarily. Just go there. We did that. Was our first stop every morning.
Yeah, but there was nothing else that dropped at any of those stores that we wanted. Like if we were there the E.H. Taylor day and the Old Fitz dropped, we wouldn't be able to do both, because they're kind of far apart. Well, not kind of. They're very far apart. So that's it. That's the last question. If you have any more questions, please comment down below. We're more than happy to talk about our experiences, and we'll share stuff from the next trip. We'll do vlogs while we're there as well. We'll talk about it leading up to it, kind of what we're thinking. So,
one thing
go ahead,
that you got to enjoy. Liquorland does very cheap tastings. You tried Weller Antique for like $3.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So, and they also do
Hit up
beer
Liquorlands.
Mm-hmm.
Hit up Liquorlands. She's absolutely right on that.
Birthday
I completely
bourbon.
forgot.
That was like $20 to taste, but still, if you're never gonna find a bottle, you just want to try it.
Yeah, that's a good call. See, I knew we'd forget stuff. Yeah, that. I did too. I guess that's it for us on this video. Any last thing you want to say? Any other tips? Last minute things? Just have pizzas.
What else do we eat? Anything else good?
J.W. Dent.
Oh, what was the other?
Big Boy.
Big Boy. That's what you liked. I don't have that in Florida, so that was exciting for me.
That was the godfather of the Big Mac. So good. But that's it for us. Thank you guys for watching this longer video, but it was fun to discuss the Bourbon Trail. I could talk about it ad nauseum. We're still going to do that podcast of us. We'll upload it to this channel.
A lot more.
But
a lot longer.
A lot more in depth. We'll kind of go day by day how we did things. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. Cheers.